Alright, welcome back to the commentary booth, everybody. I am Kill2. I'm here with Angel Hun. We have the third quarterfinal of Alliance Tournament 8 in front of us. Darkside on the left versus Dystopia on the right. Darkside have brought one Tengu, 3 Slipners, a Hurricane, a Scimitar, 3 Sabers, and a Thrasher.
And for Dystopia, we have a Loki, Eos, 2 Rooks, Guardian, 2 Hounds, and 3 Purifiers. Hopefully Dystopia is able to at least coordinate their bombs all in the same direction this time. A similar setup that we've seen before, Eos using information warfare links to make those Rooks a little bit more effective. Darkside, not necessarily relative unknowns coming into this match, but they are an incredibly skilled team. Every match they've been in, they have executed very well.
So we have quite a bit of range between the teams to start. We have Darkside came in most of their ships around 30k from the beacon at a totally opposite angle, 180 degrees from the Dystopia team, who came in at 50. Everyone in torp range already. The Hurricane looks like it's going to be the primary. He was out in front leading the pack for Darkside, but the rest of the ships catching up quickly. A Rook on Dystopia taking some damage as well. He will, of course, tank an armor, so far nothing significant.
Drones already out for the Dystopia team. Not really much fear for them in losing them from an initial bomb volley. Still no bombs out from Dystopia. Definitely waiting for Darkside to put them out. The Sabers are rushing in at almost at full speed into the Dystopia team. A little bit unwary of the doom that could meet them.
And that Hurricane did go down for Darkside. The Rook taking a little damage again here for Dystopia. Those Rooks really important. Obviously, the Darkside logistics going to have a really hard time getting locks to help out his pals here until those Rooks are down. Also, a lot of damps being fielded by the stealth bombers. So a lot of E-War Darkside has to deal with here, and they're trying to combat it mostly with just kind of a lot of damage and speed. The Rook does go down. That's really good news for Darkside. They're still in good shape. If they can get the other Rook down, get their Scimitar some locks on their command ships, they might have a good chance. And now a bomber taking damage for Dystopia.
All of those Sabers in range doing impressive damage up close, but also being able to field Scramblers and damps in those mid slots. Impressive ship choice, relatively solid damage for a class of ship that is generally expendable.
So this match, really close still. Slipner going down. They probably got another jam on the logistics. I saw him just pull back a tiny bit of shields. Now he's holding there just a little bit of armor, and he is down. So a huge chunk of their DPS out. 2 Slipners and the Tengu left. And damage has slowed now on Dystopia. They did take damage on several of their bombers. Their second Rook took some damage as well. It looks like a bomber is the thing they're trying to hit right now. Remember that Loki has the most likely the web subsystem, so he can keep a lot of these command ships in place. Ooh, another bomber down, huh? So now 2 armors down for Dystopia, leaving only 3 for him.
That's a significant portion of Dystopia's DPS down without any bombs launched by them. So you are decreasing the amount of bomb volley damage that could possibly come later in this game. It's an interesting team. We're seeing another Purifier extremely close to dying. Without that second Rook on the field, it doesn't look like Dystopia can hold off the damage coming from those Sabers and Sleipnirs.
Yeah, this is still a really close match, which is really kind of crazy. I don't think of this bomber setup as the type of setup that gets into close matches. It usually wins with all ships intact, or it can't hold off this this Minmatar onslaught and all the bombers go down really quickly. In this case, they're still hanging on. Reps being applied to Elise Randolph and that Purifier that's been taking some damage on and off for the last little while. While at the same time, this Darkside Slipner down to about a 3rd shields, which is not where he wants to be, but holding okay for now. Oh, and now the Rook taking a lot more damage.
And the Rook goes boom. We see now the Dystopia team really unable to control the amount of damage coming in. Most of Darkside within close range, close enough now that those dampeners are not going to take much effect. Even if they switch scripts at this point, there's really nothing to break their locks to make that targeting time dramatically increase. I believe I'm going to go ahead and call this match for Darkside at this point. The Sleipnir should be able to survive. They should be able to keep up with the damage incoming. I believe that actually that Hound is going to go down next. I'm not sure why they wouldn't go for the Guardian, as it is really the center point of this Dystopia team.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. He may not be... oh, he is. He's right there in the center of the fight. I think you're right. The Guardian make a good target. That Slipner's still taking a lot of damage down into armor. Same with the Purifier on the Dystopia team, and I think that Purifier is, ooh, another rep. Nah, he is down. And some shields pulled back for the Slipner. So another kind of twist in favor of Darkside here. Only 2 bombers left, one of them getting hurt bad. Whoa, went down before the Guardian could even switch and put reps on him. So really bad news for T-Rex and the rest of Dystopia here. Just the command ship, Tech 3, and 1 bomber left.
Darkside really showing how much they respect the DPS of those bombers and getting them out of the way very, very quickly, proving that they are, while they are incredibly powerful offensive weapons, they are generally paper thin. Incredible damage coming out of the Darkside team at the moment. I believe we were seeing smart bombs actually from that EOS, but at this point I believe it's too little too late from NT Rabbit of Dystopia.
And there goes 1 more bomber, so no bombers left. The Loki taking some damage. They're still not worried about killing that Guardian, although he is taking some armor damage now as well. This is kind of surprising to me. I really feel like the Dystopia setup is stronger. Obviously, the speed setup is something that's hard to deal with. You know, the damps nullified by the speed that you talked about. The Slipners and Sabers able to close on those bombers, but with the Rooks there, you would think they'd be able to keep the damage off long enough to really disrupt the Darkside setup and kill some ships, because the Dystopia team just does so much damage, but in this case, not enough. The Sabers and Slipners able to get in there and do enough damage that they're definitely gonna take this match. I
don't think Dystopia really expected that many Matari ships aligned against them. I would be surprised if those Rooks had more than 2 Matari jammers each, and with an ECM on each of those Sleipnirs, they really couldn't jam all 3 of them at once. And I think their Eve War really underestimated what Darkside could bring. The Guardian for Dystopia going down, and the hero of the Panda team match taking it to the end, Corrin and his Loki dies.
Did all of the Slipners have ECCMs? Is that what you just said?
I would believe so. It would be hard to believe that they wouldn't. I
don't see one here on this one. I don't know why they would turn them off, but
may not necessarily need to run it anymore. I can't believe that they would be concerned from cap with them, but I'd be loath to believe that there wouldn't be ECCM, at least on those DPS ships.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it would be something smart to bring, but I'm not sure they had it in this case. It's interesting. I mean, we talked a lot about jamming and kind of ways to deal with it. Seeing the PL setup, which is something that Darkside has to seriously consider dealing with going into the next match, I believe. Oh, sorry, no, it won't be PL. Or will it?
Yes, it could be.
It will be PL if they win their quarterfinal. So that's something they'd have to think about. And you know, fielding a full Omar setup is something we talked about. Fielding something with a lot of damp so that you can get the Rooks out of the fight early. Something we talked about. I don't know how you know, this Slipner Saber mid-Matar focused kind of low ECCM, low E-War setup would do against something like PL's
I think it
ECM.
Could work against Reform Voltron and Hydra. I think this setup that we see from Darkside at the moment could get under those dams just like they did with the Dystopia team. I think that would be very effective. Dystopia really just not able to execute.
I don't know. Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see, as we are just about to lose this EOS. Uh-oh. He's gaining back shields, which means Darkside is repairing him. I don't know why. Looting time. They've said looting time in locals, so we'll have to hold on just a second while they do that. So how do you feel about the Sabers? I thought those... I've kind of been noticing this trend where I see Sabers putting a lot of harassment on bombers and ECM ships, and they're pretty good at that. They do a lot of damage. They move around really fast, but they don't... often get taken out early in the match. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that Sabers have been underestimated as far as when you see them on Tranquility, they die relatively quickly, especially in larger fleet fights. But in small gang rooms, they're able to maneuver quite readily. Generally, their role is not as a damage dealer, but they do actually have at least 6 turret slots, if not a 7th. The autocannon's able to track those smaller targets very easily. A solid number of mid slots for multiple types of E-warfare. Really versatile ship. I mean, the low slots really don't fit in to an armor tanking setup, but we haven't seen Darkside do that at all. It's an impressive ship. It tracks well. It does a solid amount of damage from those autocannons.
So there goes that EOS. Dystopia out of the tournament. Darkside moving on. Good job to them. We'll see them in a little while, and we'll go back to Soundwave.